By accident, I ended up staying at my nephew's house. My nephew is both cute and cool, and he also has the same name as my male god. At night, my nephew walked into the wrong room. I covered my eyes and said anxiously, "Sam, I am your little aunt." My nephew gradually woke up. "I am Ethan, not Sam, little aunt." My male god? I double-checked the house number again, building 18, room 608. This is the right place. I rang the doorbell. A handsome guy opened the door. Clean, milky white, with his eyelashes hanging down lazily at the corners of his eyes. He is quite cool. "Who are you looking for?" "Ah, I am looking for Sam." The handsome guy frowned. "I am Sam." "What?" I was stunned. I was a childhood playmate of my cousin. I haven't seen her since her family immigrated to the United States. Now that she has returned to China, we got in touch again. My cousin is divorced. Her son is with her ex-husband. Now she lives in Chengdu. When my cousin knew that I was coming to Chengdu, she was extremely enthusiastic and asked me to stay here for a few days. She asked me to bring a lot of food and supplies. Actually, I know that she just misses her son. Anyway, since it's convenient, I came. I thought my eldest nephew was a teenage boy, but it seems that his age is a bit different from what I imagined. I looked at the handsome guy in confusion. "Your mother is my cousin. You should call me little aunt." Sam raised an eyebrow, his voice playful. "Little aunt?" "Yes. Eldest nephew." I carried big and small bags and walked inside. While acting like a nagging elder, I said, "This is what your mother asked me to bring. There is food, drinks, and supplies." Snap. I was taking out the things from the big and small bags when a stack of small square things fell at my feet. I froze. Sam bent down and picked them up. After a few seconds, his tone rose slightly. "Did my mother ask you to bring these for me to use?" "No." I snatched them over and stuffed them randomly into my backpack. Sam glanced at my reddening earlobes. His voice was hiding a smile. "Then are these for little aunt to use?" "Not at all. This was just forced into my hands by a promoter on the road." "Oh." Sam answered a phone call. While listening to the person on the other end, his eyes were sizing me up. He replied, "Yes, I arrived." Sam listened for a while. I was a bit excited. "Is it cousin? Let me answer it." But Sam hung up directly. "My mother asked me to receive you well." Sam lay down on the sofa. After looking at me for a moment, he squinted and said, "Little aunt looks very familiar. I am a food blogger." "Oh, I remember. Are you called Yvonne? You know me? I can see you every day. It's hard not to know you." Judging from his tone, he is quite disgusted. I am not to be outdone in speaking. "Have you ever thought that maybe it's because you always watch my videos that big data has targeted you?" Sam's eyes dodged for a moment, and then he changed the topic and asked, "What are you doing here?" As soon as this was mentioned, I got excited. "I am here to explore a restaurant. There is a very famous restaurant here called Fu. Have you heard of it?" I heard that this restaurant just opened in the past 2 years and has a great reputation. Coincidentally, the owner of this restaurant has a name a bit similar to yours. His name is Ethan." Oh. When it comes to Ethan, my heart is pounding. He now has more than 3 million fans on Douyin. He still hasn't shown his face. Just relying on his hands, he has gained countless fans. Could it be, you are also one of them? He is my male god. Who made me a hand control? Sam changed his position. His expression was a bit unnatural. Suddenly, I caught sight of his pair of slender hands. My eyes suddenly lit up. "Eldest nephew, your hands?" Sam glanced at his own hands, raised an eyebrow, then waved his right hand in front of my eyes. "Do you like it?" I nodded vigorously and threw myself over without any image. I picked up his hand and examined it. The joints are distinct. Every inch of flesh and bone is just right. The skin color is slightly white. Delicate but not feminine. The size of the palm gives a feeling of being able to control everything and gives a full sense of security. Good hands. Really good hands. Maybe my expression was too wretched. Sam silently withdrew his hand. Then he took a tissue and wiped it. Does he despise me? To save my image, I cleared my throat. Although your hands are indeed okay, they are not even 1/10,000th as good as my male god's. Sam raised an eyebrow and looked at me. Oh? I proudly opened the video and started showing off. See? Isn't it beautiful? Most importantly, this pair of hands can cook. And the presentation is also excellent. I heard that the taste is also quite good. Sam glanced at the pair of hands arranging the dishes in the video and only replied lazily, "It's quite good." There was a bit of pride in his tone. Right. I satisfactorily put away my phone. I have completed what my cousin asked me to do. I am also ready to leave. Before leaving, Sam followed behind me as if he had something to say. I turned around and patted him on the shoulder. In the tone of an aunt. Eldest nephew is really great. Handsome young man. When you have time, go and see your mother more often. She misses you very much. Sam gave me an expression of speechlessness. I put on my backpack and rushed to the elevator. I made an appointment with Brother Faye to meet at 7 o'clock. The hotel has also been booked. There is no time, but when I rushed downstairs, I was stunned. It was pouring rain. According to the aunt next to me, it started raining suddenly 10 seconds ago. This is terrible. Just then, Brother Faye called. Yvonne, there is a heavy traffic jam due to the heavy rain. We can't move. We haven't arrived in Chengdu yet. Judging from the rain, it is estimated that we will have to go there tomorrow. There is no favorable time, location, or people. Alas, suddenly, an umbrella landed on top of my head. I turned around and saw Sam with one hand in his pocket and the other holding an umbrella. He was looking down at me with his eyelids drooping. I wanted to tell you just now that there will be heavy rain today. He paused for a moment. His earlobes turned red as he asked, "Otherwise, stay here for one night?" I turned around and walked back. Let's go. It's so cold. Sam probably didn't expect me to agree so readily. He was stunned for a few seconds. I didn't want to disturb him originally, but now I can only stay for one night. Sam gave me his room and changed new quilts for me. He himself went to sleep in the next guest room. He said that the guest room hadn't been cleaned and there was dust. It was not good for a girl's body. He is quite considerate. I sincerely sighed. Eldest nephew, you are such a handsome and considerate boy. I don't know which little girl will be lucky enough to have you in the future. Sam was making the bed. I don't like little girls. My curiosity arose. Then what kind of person do you like? A strong woman? Sam swallowed his Adam's apple and didn't answer me. After making the bed, he walked to the door. Suddenly, he turned around and asked me, "Do you have a boyfriend?" TSK, kids don't meddle in adults' affairs. I am most afraid of discussing topics about men and women. My face was flushed red, but I pretended to be old-fashioned and educated him to be more sensible. Lying on the bed, I was thinking about what takeout to order tonight. Outside the door, a fragrant smell wafted in. I got up and rushed out. Following the smell, I chased all the way to the kitchen. Is Sam cooking? I was quite surprised. I peeked over and wow, spicy crayfish. My favorite. Sam glanced at me. Do you want to eat? I nodded vigorously. My eyes were about to fall in. Seeing my greedy look, Sam nudged me with his elbow. Wait outside. I'll eat one first. It's hot. I'll peel it for you. Sam skillfully peeled off the shrimp shell. With his long fingers, he pinched the meat of the shrimp tail and held it to my mouth. He suddenly paused. He put the shrimp tail on a clean plate and then pushed it to me. Here. I swallowed it in one gulp and couldn't help giving him a thumbs up. Eldest nephew not only has beautiful hands but also can cook. Sam's mouth curved up. He arranged a pot of spicy crayfish and then poured the soup on top. Very particular. It looked effortless. My gaze was attracted by his pair of jade-like fingers. They looked familiar. I didn't have time to think more because Sam walked past me with the spicy crayfish. My soul was hooked. Throughout the whole process, I ate without any image. But Sam didn't eat much. He was busy peeling shrimp shells for me and putting pieces of shrimp meat on my plate. I sincerely sighed. Eldest nephew is really good at pleasing others. There must be many little girls who like you, right? Sam's eyes were deep. I am single. Hearing this, I glanced at him. How old is eldest nephew this year? 22, a college student? I graduated a long time ago. Then you can consider finding a girlfriend. Sam spread his arms on the sofa. With his eyelashes drooping lazily, he glanced at me. What kind of boy do you like? I replied immediately. Little Aunt likes men with 8-pack abs. Sam narrowed his eyes. I don't know what he was thinking. After eating and washing up, I was ready to go back to my room and rest to welcome tomorrow in the best condition. Sam came out of the next room. He was wearing a dark blue bathrobe. The belt around his waist was loosely tied. A few abs were faintly visible. We met at the door. My gaze couldn't help but fall on it. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. TSK. Eldest nephew not only can cook but also has abs. I had a good night's sleep. The next day, the rain stopped. I made an appointment with brother Fei to meet at Fu. As soon as I arrived at the door, I met a plague, Cha Henlu. She is also a food blogger like me. The grievances between us can't be told in 3 days and 3 nights. 3 years ago, after I graduated from college, I started posting some food videos on a certain platform. Fortunately, because of my outstanding appearance and humorous language, I gained millions of little fans. But not long after, Cha Henlu appeared. Almost every time I released a video, she would follow closely and release one. Whether it was the dressing style or speaking way, the dishes and tastes I ate, including the edited effects, were almost exactly the same. Later, I started exploring restaurants. The one I visited, she would definitely follow closely. In this way, we were often compared. Her topics were always tied to mine. Like a dog's skin plaster that couldn't be shaken off. Gradually, her number of fans increased. Unexpectedly, she bit back and said that I was riding on her popularity. Because of these annoying things, I was often angered to tears. I also thought about explaining, but this kind of plagiarism behavior is simply impossible to explain clearly. Moreover, in this way, I am even more suspected of riding on her popularity. Maybe I will be scolded for being pretentious. I didn't want to make a big fuss and increase my troubles, so I endured it all the time. But this green tea. Oh no, Cha Henlu. Why is she here? Oh, isn't this Yvonne? Are we very familiar with each other? I unhappily pushed away her hand. Cha is very green and her smile is dazzling. You also come to explore this store? Isn't this a coincidence? I also plan to do this store for this issue. Coincidence my ass. I don't believe in such a coincidence at all. After thinking about it, it must be that I was too excited in the last issue and told my fans that I would come here for this issue. She must have seen it. Cha is very green and speaks in a sarcastic tone. If the fans see that our content for this issue is similar again, they will definitely say that you copied me again. I gave her a blank look. Who copied whom? Whoever did it knows in their heart. Cha is very green and has extremely thick skin. She led the photographer and stepped into the store first. Whoever enters later is the one who copied. Fei Gu and Xiaolan hurried over. Seeing me sitting dejectedly by the roadside, they asked, "What's wrong? Did you run into a ghost?" "No ghosts. I ran into a plague god." "Damn." Fei Gu understood immediately and cursed in frustration, "Why is this green tea so cheap? I'll go and reason with her." "Don't go." I held him back. "If we make a fuss, it will cause trouble again." "Do you think she is a reasonable person? Then what should we do? We can't be bullied by her every time." "Forget it. Otherwise, let's not film this store." I bit my lip. It was very difficult to make this decision. Fei Gu knew how much I was looking forward to filming this issue. I had wanted to come here a long time ago, but I couldn't come because of the epidemic and schedule conflicts. Now that I finally came here, not film? I could endure it, but Fei Gu couldn't. He directly carried the camera. Why not film? Today I will confront her. When we entered, Cha is very green was discussing with the waiter to get a private room. The waiter said that the private rooms were all full and there were still seats in the hall. Cha is very green looked at the surrounding environment and said unhappily, "Okay." When she turned around and saw me, she sneered. "You won't disturb me later, will you? Otherwise, let's do an issue together?" I couldn't hold back and cursed, "In your dreams." "You." Cha is very green's face turned green, but soon she suppressed her temper. At this point, I still admire her. She turned and walked towards the hall and provoked, "Then let's see who has higher popularity for this issue." I gave her a blank look and was about to ask the waiter if there were still seats available. Unexpectedly, the waiter politely said to me, "Miss you, right? We have reserved a VIP private room for you. Please follow me." I was a bit confused and could only follow her upstairs. Cha is very green rushed back angrily. "Didn't you say there were no private rooms?" The waiter still maintained a standardized smile. "This is reserved for Miss you." I was even more confused. I didn't make a reservation. I exchanged glances with Fei Gu. Fei Gu also shook his head to indicate that he didn't make a reservation. That's strange. Oh well. Whatever. Putting down the green tea's arrogance is so satisfying. My mood instantly became extremely good and my appetite was wide open. I asked the waiter to bring all the signature dishes in the store. I was ready to go all out. Unexpectedly, all the dishes in this store are my favorites. Xiaolan said, Sister Yvonne, it seems that you have the same taste as your male god. I smiled sweetly. Of course. This is my male god. For some reason, I had more expectations for this man whom I had never met but watched his videos every day before going to sleep. Just because of his hands, I had been thinking about him. After filming the video, I was also full and lay down on the chair contentedly. I asked the waiter, is the boss here? I was extremely nervous and hurriedly explained, I am a food blogger. I often see his videos and want to get to know him. Is it okay? The waiter smiled. I'll go ask. Thank you. After a while, the waiter came back and said apologetically, the boss went out temporarily and may not be back for a while. Okay. I was quite disappointed and got up and went downstairs. Feiga said, I'll rush back to do post-production editing first. Don't let that green tea take the lead. Well, you and Xiaolan go back first. I'll go back to my eldest nephew's place to get my luggage. See you in Shanghai. Aren't you coming back with us? I want to stay here and play for 2 days. It's rare to come to Chengdu. Actually, I was not reconciled. I wanted to see my male god. This was an obsession. When I went back, Sam wasn't at home. I called him. Sam said that his dad was in the hospital and he might not come back at night. I worriedly asked, is it serious? Do you need my help? After all, he was my former brother-in-law. No. Sam said. Lock the door when you sleep at night. The food is all in the refrigerator. For the next 2 days, Sam didn't come back. I was a bit worried and quickly sent a message to my cousin, tactfully mentioning that my former brother-in-law was hospitalized. I heard that they had a very unpleasant divorce. I wasn't sure if I was meddling. My cousin didn't reply. I didn't dare to say more. What was relatively strange was that Cha-Cha is Very Green hadn't released this video. Finally, Feigu quickly edited the video and uploaded it first. Feigu was in a good mood and said, she may be angry because of the waiter and simply didn't release it. After all, exploring stores is also to create popularity for the store. But I always felt that things weren't so simple. This wasn't something Cha-Cha is Very Green would do. Sure enough, at more than 10 o'clock in the evening, I had already fallen asleep. Feigu called me. Yvonne, something's wrong. I woke up immediately. What's wrong? Go and see for yourself. Feigu cursed angrily. Cha-Cha is Very Green released a video and blatantly at Yvonne. In the video, Cha-Cha is Very Green was crying pitifully. The content of the video was probably to say that she entered the store first, but the last private room was given to me. It was obvious that they were ganging up to bully her. Implied in her words and expressions was that I had an affair with the boss of Xinyu Echenfu. She also said that it was because I copied her content that she couldn't update this video. She said that I was too much. This video had already made it to the hot list, and related topics were also rising rapidly. Good grief. With this wave, not only did her popularity go up, but also my reputation was ruined. There were comments defending me below, but they were quickly drowned out. All were insults to me. Cha-Cha is not green. Yaya is the real bitch. No wonder she always says in her videos how much she likes Ethan. So this is a means to flirt with men. Come and learn, sisters. Before, when I watched the videos of Cha-Cha and her, I always felt they were very similar. So it was really her who copied Cha-Cha. So cheap. I was so angry that I was shaking. Tears fell one by one. I couldn't endure it anymore and decided to personally join the fight. But just when I was about to record a video to counterattack, Feigu called again. Damn damn damn. Go and see. The last time Feigu was this excited was when he accidentally clicked on a video website and saw an indescribable scene. I thought Cha-Cha is Very Green was up to something again. I angrily clicked on it to watch Ethan at Yvonne. Below was a video edited in text. 2 lines of big characters were clearly visible. I have a crush on Miss Yvonne. Can Miss Yvonne get to know me? After being stunned for 3 seconds, my heart started beating violently. My male god spoke up for me? He said he had a crush on me? I couldn't believe it and covered my mouth, afraid that I would cry out in excitement. Woo woo woo. The comments below went crazy. Damn. Ethan, who usually doesn't say a word, actually took the initiative to help Yvonne speak. I actually think it's a bit sweet. Ethan means he doesn't know Yvonne? So Cha-Cha is Very Green is lying. Now I just want to ship this CP. Yvonne, come out and respond. At Yvonne. I seem to have discovered something amazing, sisters. Have you noticed that Ethan and Yvonne's nicknames are couple names? And Yvonne started posting videos 3 years ago. Ethan started 2 years ago. Also, Yvonne is responsible for eating and Ethan is responsible for cooking. And also, Yvonne said she likes boys with nice hands. Me. With them imagining like this, even as the person involved, I feel that this is the case. Feigu sent me a message. Are you already moved to tears? I sniffled and replied to Feigu, I seem to have fallen in love with a man I haven't met. I want to see him. Feigu was silent for a while and replied to me, I'm not trying to discourage you. He may be using you. Don't forget how Yonggu used you back then. Half of the reason why your reputation is so bad is because of him. I said sullenly, I know, but I really want to see Ethan. I privately messaged Ethan, I'm in Chengdu. Can we meet? Ethan replied quickly, wait for me to see you. Ethan's reply made ripples in my heart. I said okay and buried my head in the pillow. After a long time, my earlobes became burning hot. I imagined what he looked like. When he would ask me to meet, should I dress ladylike or casually, what should be my first sentence when I see him? Thinking and thinking, I fell asleep. I don't know how long it had passed. I heard the sound of someone opening the door. I looked over in a daze. In the bright moonlight, I saw a man walk in. He was unbuttoning the buttons on his collar. Good grief. 8-pack abs. At the same time, I suddenly woke up. I turned over and quickly turned on the bedside lamp. Sam? In the next second, I quickly covered my eyes. Sam, what are you doing? Sam was also stunned. Only then did his tired eyelids lift. He looked at the room and awkwardly swallowed. I am your little aunt. How can you do this? While covering my eyes, I climbed out of bed and pushed him out. I kept pushing him until he was outside the door. Only then did Sam stand still. When I tried to push him again, I couldn't move him. Only then did I realize that I was only as tall as my eldest nephew's chest. Well, don't look at what is improper. Sorry, I haven't closed my eyes to rest while taking care of the patient in the hospital. I'm so sleepy that I subconsciously returned to my own room and forgot that you were here, Sam explained in a low voice, looking at me with burning eyes. I understood his hardship, but as an elder, I should still educate him if necessary. I messily wrapped up the shirt on his chest. Sam understood and covered up his spring scenery. I avoided looking and said, although I am your little aunt, I am also a woman. Be more careful next time. As soon as I finished speaking, a low laugh came from above my head. There was tiredness in Sam's eyes. Even his smile was a bit weak, but it showed a bit more clarity and laziness. Like what? My abs, my hands, and me. I took a big breath. Is this eldest nephew crazy? I got angry. Sam, I don't care what kind of education you received these years abroad, but here, your kind of thought is very dangerous and goes against moral ethics. There was a faint smile brewing between Sam's eyebrows. But you said it yourself. You like me. I was shocked. When did I say that? Look. Sam slowly opened the private message and handed it to me. Didn't you say that I am your male god and that you super like me? I was suffocated. What's going on? Why are the private messages I sent to Ethan in Sam's private messages? No, why is Sam's account, I am Ethan? Just when my brain was lacking oxygen, Sam bent down and said in my ear, I am Ethan, not Sam, little aunt. This is so absurd. Why did my eldest nephew become my male god? We sat in the living room. I still couldn't accept it. So, you are not my eldest nephew? Sam, oh no, Ethan shook his head with a smile. I was completely confused and immediately called my cousin. Hung up? Hung up? Still hung up. This is so abnormal. Ever since I arrived in Chengdu, my cousin has disappeared like evaporating. She didn't reply to any of my messages. I sent her a voice message, escaping is useless. Tell me clearly what's going on. This time, my cousin replied with a voice message. Good sister, it has nothing to do with me. This is a task assigned to me by your mom. I am just a tool person. What do you mean? Do you remember when you just graduated not long ago and your mom wanted to introduce a boyfriend to you? I recalled and it seemed that there was such a thing. At that time, I had just graduated and only wanted to establish a career and not start a family. But my mom was in a hurry and told me that there was a particularly excellent boy to introduce to me. After this opportunity, there would be no more. I didn't even look at the photo and refused outright. Funny, it's hard to find a three-legged toad, but aren't there plenty of two-legged men? My cousin said again, you refused on the grounds that the other person was young at that time and said that you liked mature and stable older men. Your mom was so angry that she didn't get up for a week. Ah, there was such a thing. My cousin sent a smiling expression. It's him. Oh my. So the man sitting on the sofa at this moment and looking at me leisurely, that is, my male god, is my blind date 3 years ago? I knew my mom was stubborn, but I didn't expect my mom to be so unscrupulous to achieve her goal. Me, then my eldest nephew? Cousin, your eldest nephew is called Lu Mang. I sent a smiling expression. This world is so treacherous and I am so naive. My cousin sent me an emoji of cheering and then slipped away. I closed WeChat and looked up at the man opposite who was looking at me. It's over. The sudden change of identity made me at a loss. I avoided looking and my cheeks burned like fire. The male god was right in front of me, but I didn't know what to say. It's not dawn yet. Let's sleep. As soon as I stood up, I froze. Damn, what tiger wolf words did I say? 13 During Ethan's stun time, I covered my face and rushed into the room. So embarrassing. In the next few hours, I couldn't sleep at all. As soon as it was dawn, I packed my luggage and prepared to leave. The door of the next room was closed. I knocked gently. After a long time, Ethan opened the door. I'm going back to Shanghai today. Thank you for taking care of me these days. I said goodbye politely. Ethan coughed. He was wearing thin clothes and his face looked a bit bad. I worriedly asked, "Are you okay?" Ethan coughed twice and said feebly, "I'm fine. Maybe I caught a cold because of lack of sleep and decreased immunity." Usually looking cool, now he seems like Lin Dayu, delicate and soft-spoken, giving a feeling of being easy to bully. Me, then drink some hot water? Ethan coughed twice again. There seems to be no hot water at home. After saying that, he lowered his eyes and glanced at my luggage. The corner of his mouth had a pitiful downward curve. Aren't you leaving? Don't worry about me. Have a safe trip. I tentatively asked, can you manage on your own? His mouth was pouting with grievance. If there is no hot water, then don't drink it. There seems to be no medicine at home either. Just endure it. Maybe it will get better in a week. Although you have stayed at my house for a few days, I haven't entertained you well. Now that I am sick, you don't need to care about me. Have a safe journey. Am I a disappointment to you? Ethan suddenly asked. I looked at him in surprise. No. Ethan's eyebrows relaxed. Is it okay? I forced a smile and said what was on my mind. Otherwise, it seems like I am being ungrateful and not saving someone in need. Ethan touched his nose and didn't speak anymore, but it was obvious that he was in a much better mood. I looked at him suspiciously and put down my luggage to boil water. Ethan followed in and stood next to me. I didn't dare to look up and just stared at the kettle without blinking. Am I a disappointment to you? Ethan suddenly asked. I looked at him in surprise. No. Ethan raised his eyebrows and lowered his eyes with a bit of grievance. Then why have you been ignoring me since you knew I am your male god? I am wronged. Mainly, I originally thought he was my eldest nephew. Now suddenly he becomes my male god. He is younger than me. Whenever I have any thoughts about him, it feels like I am committing a crime. I blurted out without thinking, you are too young. A few seconds later Ethan said in a low voice. How do you know it's not good if you don't try? What I mean is, how do you know that a younger guy is not as good as an older man if you don't try? Ethan chuckled lightly and carefully looked at my shocked pupils. What did you think I meant? I didn't think anything. I brushed away those messy images in front of me and lowered my blushing face. I see that you are quite energetic now. You should be much better. Then I'm leaving. Ethan staggered and poked his temple with his finger. Dizzy, are you serious or not? If you don't believe me, touch it. Ethan brought his forehead in front of me. I held my breath. The distance between the two of us was so close that we could hear each other's heartbeats. It was my heart beating like a drum. I moved back and quickly avoided looking. If you are dizzy, go lie down. Ethan got up and looked at me intently. After I wake up, will I still see you? That tone was like a begging little puppy. I really couldn't bear to refuse. I nodded. Yes, Ethan beamed. Whoever goes back on their word is a puppy. His voice was hoarse and sticky, with indulgence and joking. I was amused by him and couldn't control my expression no matter what. This guy is so cute. I cooked hot porridge for him and he obediently drank it all. Seeing him fall asleep, I went downstairs to buy cold medicine. When I came back, Ethan hadn't woken up yet. Ethan, wake up and take your medicine. I gently pushed his arm. Ethan hummed and frowned in discomfort. I reached out and felt the temperature on his forehead. Why is it so hot? Wake up first. After taking the medicine, let's go to the hospital? He just responded but didn't move. With his eyes closed, he seemed to have fallen asleep again. This won't do. I had no choice. I poured a cup of warm water and sat on the bedside, trying to help him up. But I underestimated the weight of a man. I tried my best but still couldn't move him. I don't know if I disturbed him. Ethan frowned and put his arm around my waist. My body suddenly stiffened. His burning body temperature also made me hot. I smelled a faint fragrance of body wash. Very refreshing and intoxicating. I came to my senses and pushed him with a blushing face. Ethan, let go of me. But the sleeping man not only didn't let go of me but hugged me even tighter. But I was about to explode. Help! My mind is full of dirty thoughts. All I can see are his long legs. I am guilty. I actually had evil thoughts about a powerless patient. I closed my eyes and recited the great compassion mantra over and over again. I tried to pry his hand open again but still had no result. I took a risk and tried to break free forcibly. But in the next second, I rolled off the bed with Ethan. I fell head over heels. Ethan rolled down because of me. Well, he just me. Still on my back. I heard him groan. It should be that his long legs hit the bedside. But the sound is so sexy. It's deadly. I groaned in pain, enduring the double torture of my mind and body. I couldn't help but shout, Ethan. You are crushing me. At the same time, I heard the sound of the door opening outside. About 5 seconds later, a middle-aged woman in her 50s was standing at the door of the room, looking at us with shock and disbelief. Oh, exciting. 5 seconds later, she exclaimed with, is there anything more embarrassing than this? I stood in the living room and wanted to find a hole to crawl into. Ethan came out of the room. Probably because of a fever, his whole face was red. He looked at me and introduced, this is my mom. This is Yvonne. Mother Yi looked at me up and down with a beaming smile. I stood awkwardly. Hello, auntie. Very good. Look at this fair and tender skin and beautiful facial features. Mother Yi came forward enthusiastically. By the way, didn't Auntie disturb you too? There was a loud bang in my mind. I hurriedly explained, Auntie, it's not what you see. Ethan and I are not in that kind of relationship. Auntie understands. Mother Yi winked at me. I think she may not understand. I can't explain clearly even with 10 mouths. Mother Yi coughed. I know young people like excitement. Auntie is not urging you to confirm your relationship, but look at my Ethan. You can consider it. She winked at me again. Help, I can't chat anymore. Ethan came over in time to rescue me. Mom, you scared Yvonne. Oh. Mother Yi gave him a blank look but said to me in a proud tone, he hasn't become your wife yet, and you are already so protective? I was stunned. What wife? Mother Yi said again, yeah, as you can see, my son will definitely love his wife in the future. In this regard, he is like his father. It seems that I have been stuffed with a mouthful of dog food. I smiled even more awkwardly and explained, Auntie, I really don't have that kind of relationship with Ethan. I heard from the matchmaker. You think Ethan is young and not mature enough, but there is a saying. A woman 3 years older holds a gold brick. Auntie, do you know? Ethan majored in business administration. He has been smarter than children of the same age since he was young and graduated from college early. Later, when he knew that you like to eat, he deliberately learned to cook and opened a restaurant. Do you think he posts cooking videos to attract fans and make money? No. He is to attract your attention. Mom, you talk too much. Ethan wanted to stop her from continuing, but Mother Yi was in high spirits. Although he didn't tell me what he was thinking, but who am I? I am his mother. I know what he wants to do just by looking at his butt. I glanced at Ethan. Really? I felt a bit flattered. Ethan finally couldn't stay calm anymore. He pushed Mother Yi to the door while supporting her shoulder. Mother Yi hurriedly said to me, yeah, since you are here, stay for a few more days. Let Ethan take you around, watch movies and eat Chengdu delicacies. I waved awkwardly. Mother Yi was talking to Ethan at the door. If I wasn't worried about your health, would I come? Ethan, don't lie. You just came to see Yvonne. I didn't. Mother Yi raised her voice guiltily and said, I still have to go back and take care of your dad. Have fun. By the way, take it easy. You made the girl hurt. It's not what you think. Okay. I'm leaving. Yeah, Auntie is leaving. I waved silently again. On the verge of tears, Ethan came back. As soon as our eyes met, we both involuntarily avoided each other. I said something for the sake of saying something. Is Uncle okay? Ethan, it's an old problem. It's fine. He will be discharged from the hospital in a few days. Continue to be silent. I suddenly remembered. By the way, take some cold medicine. I ran back to the room and gave him the cold medicine. Ethan took a look and took 2 pills in front of me. I kindly asked, "Is it bitter?" Ethan looked at me. "It's very sweet." It feels like he has a hidden meaning. Am I overthinking it? Ethan's pale lips curved slightly. So this is how it feels to have a girlfriend. What girlfriend? I opened my eyes wide and didn't dare to breathe. Then I heard Ethan say, "Yvonne, do you want to give it a try with me?" I held my breath. What? I will be obedient and clingy, gentle and considerate. I won't let you down. If you want me to be mature and stable, I will also work hard. Seeing that I didn't respond for a long time, he moved closer to me and softly begged, "Miss, give me a chance.